What's going on, everybody? This is Over the Ropes. I'm Tyler.
I'm Corlin. What's going on?
And this is your Smackdown review for Smackdown January 31st, 2025 in Indianapolis, Indiana. The same place as the Rumble. So, for a go-home show, it wasn't bad. I would say it wasn't great. It didn't have like a whole lot of um, major story beats, but it was good. Like it wasn't boring like some of them can
Yeah,
be.
that's fair. I feel like it's kind of normal to play it safe because you don't want anyone to get injured. A lot of backstage stuff, which I expected.
Right.
But it was fine.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, listen, we could sit here and go through all the oh, this person's an indie for something, this person's an indie for something, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna hit SmackDown. We'll save the surprises for the Rumble. We'll see who comes, who doesn't.
Yep.
It's kind of like Mania. Everybody's in town for something. Uh, so we'll have to just see who does and doesn't show up.
I can't wait to see who
Oh my
crashes
God.
the party. The
Yeah.
hardest part is you're gonna be able to watch live, and I'm gonna be probably 4 hours behind. I'll be getting home as the replay goes on
I know
Peacock, so
Cortland's gonna have to shut his phone off.
I'm gonna have to go radio silent after 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yep.
You know that woman's rumble starting that show. So
Oh man.
I will
Yep.
say
Tonight.
we're doing our group text friend prediction today, and a couple of the matches I'm probably are gonna change because of SmackDown. Or a couple of my
You
picks.
think? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um but all right, let's get into it. So we start off with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee up at the podium up top, like they've been doing a little bit. Cole,
Yeah, the Mean Gene
yeah.
Station.
Did you see they put Okerlund?
I did. I wrote that note that they put Oakland on the lower
Yeah,
third, and I loved that.
yeah. I thought that was awesome. So Michael
Yeah.
Cole introduces Pat McAfee. Cole says Pat's the reason the Rumble's in Indianapolis. Pat talks about how much he loves the city and WWE. Have you ever been to Indianapolis?
I have not. No, I haven't done a lot in the Midwest right there. I think the only city I've been to is Minneapolis up
So
there.
my closest friend in West Virginia was from Indianapolis.
Okay.
So I'd gone up with him a couple of times because his whole family lived up there and stuff. It's nice. So I mean, nice for a major city.
Yep.
It has its nice parts and its not so nice parts, but I enjoyed it. We went a
As
couple.
cities do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
And they really blew it up. I'm really glad McAfee got his own entrance. And now,
yeah,
if you've ever been to a live event, people will know that the announcers do get their own entrances.
right,
It's just
right,
usually not on TV. But I'm
yeah,
glad that they went out of their way to give McAfee a televised entrance. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I expected a little more from the indie crowd for Pat McAfee.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
hoping they were gonna erupt a little more, but
Yeah, let me ask you, because Cortland works on Fridays, so I watch SmackDown Live, and he's probably, what would you say, an hour behind, 2 hour, hour and a half?
hour and a half.
Yeah.
I usually start around 9:30, 9:40, and I catch up through commercials.
So I was pausing it a lot, so I wasn't actually that far in front of him, but he texted me at one point when he starts the show, and you said about the crowd. Do you feel like the crowd changed? Because at that point, I had heard enough of the crowd that I was like, "What? No way, dude!" I thought the crowd was, and not in that first segment, but especially once the first match kicked in, I felt like the crowd was on fire.
I think the crowd was pretty solid. I think I might have just had too high of expectations
Right,
for
right, right.
innovation for McAfee.
Uh
But
huh.
I think I did have it a bit lower volume than I normally do. So
Right,
that's a
right,
little bit
right.
my fault of my own. But
Okay, yeah, I turned the headphones up. Uh,
I think that also, like, this is a long weekend and they realized, like, they need to save themselves because I did the same shit. When I went to WrestleMania 35, I went to NXT.
uh huh.
I went to that New Japan show at Madison Square Garden, and I went to WrestleMania. And I realized, like, I had to pace myself. So I sort of get that mentality too.
Right, right, right. So we start off with Joe Tessitore in the ring. He says that tonight he's going to interview KO because last week KO came out and questioned his journalistic integrity, said he doesn't get a fair amount of TV time or interview time, so he introduces KO to come out to the ring. KO comes out to a lot of boos. Okay, yeah, so this was the first part where I started noticing the crowd because he was getting booed. And I was to the point I was like, wow, like, I don't think I've heard them boo like this for KO this whole story. Now they're booing the shit out of him.
They hadn't.
No, I was like, okay. So here's the thing. Joe Tessitore is great for announcing, but he kills me in these interview segments because he sounds so like generic announcer. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And he was reading off his notes the whole time.
And I'm just like, oh man, like it sounds so just generic and so like
canned.
Right.
It sounds canned.
Right. I'd much rather have Wade, Cole, Corey,
Braxton.
You know, yeah, anyone. Of them. Yeah. Just do the announcing part. So Joe asked KO, you know, he said, "Hey, what are we missing? What are we missing? What are we misunderstanding about you and Cody? Since that's what you keep saying." And KO literally just doesn't answer the question. It just starts going on a rant. He says, you know, it's fine. Everybody disrespects him. Everybody kisses Cody's ass. Like, you know, just
because everyone's a Cody fanboy. They don't care about his feelings.
Yeah, and just starts going on this rant. He said he doesn't accept Joe's apology. He says he's only here for the Winged Eagle belt, which he takes the belt off which was weird because I was like, okay, then why did we have that whole segment of Saturday Night's Main Event?
I know.
Like, what are we, you know, like...
And he didn't just say he didn't accept his apology. He said he could shove it up his ass. And he had nothing else to say to him. And I also, one thing I thought was neat about this was KO was really frustrated because everyone's talking like Cody's going to win. Everyone's saying that when they win the Rumble, they're looking forward to face Cody. And that really got under KO's skin, which he made a point of. Yep. And that segued perfectly into what happened after this.
Yeah, so KO goes to leave, Punk's music hits, and the crowd erupts.
They go nuts. Okay, so in this moment, I'm like, yep, all right, the crowd is live, because they go crazy for Punk.
Crazy. Punk comes
and that's a great segue, because Raw ended with Punk and Cody.
Yep.
So right there, it's like KO's out of the story. So no wonder he's pissed.
Yeah, and now SmackDown's starting with KO and Punk, which is interesting. Because, you know, a lot of the rumors are saying it's Punk and Roman, but, man, are they wedging KO into the storyline. You know, I'm almost done with my WrestleMania prediction show, and I got some fun things on there that probably are not going to happen, but so they just stand there, stare at each other. We get some loud holy shit chants, which USA really needs to stop blurring.
Brother.
That drives me nuts. KO gets the mic, asks Punk, he says, "Hey, can I help you? Like, what the hell are you doing out here?" Punk says he has two apologies for Kevin Owens. He said, apology number one, I'm sorry for interrupting you. I know how annoying that is.
Everyone always interrupts Punk.
And he's so over it. He's so... his face, every time Seth Rollins interrupts him, is the funniest thing. So he says, you know, one, I apologize for interrupting you. I know how damn annoying that is. And he said, two, I'm sorry if you feel like I'm looking past you. I am sorry if it seems Cody-centric. He said, because, hey, if I win the Rumble... and if you somehow beat a very angry Cody Rhodes, then we will be wrestling at Mania because that is the belt that I am picking. Yep. Which I actually did not like because I watch a lot of like wrestling podcasts. I listen to a lot of like Bustin' Open, stuff like that. And I hear a lot of people like hammer that like, oh, Gunther's belt's the mid-card belt, which I hate. Because it's only that way because you're being a dink. You know what I'm saying? Like, each show has a world championship.
Yeah.
Depending on who's holding it and depending on where they are, and the story, frankly, is going to depend on which one's main eventing, you know? But I do feel like Punk being like, that's the belt I'm picking, did make it feel a little like, I want the real world title, not the, you know? So,
The workman's title.
right. So I didn't like that part. Um, KO said he's conflicted because he doesn't like Punk. He said, there is 29 other guys in the Rumble I like more than you. Keep in mind, I don't even know who's in
I
the
don't
Rumble.
even know who's in it yet. Yeah. I thought
Which
that was
is
a great
good.
line.
Oh, dude, that had me laughing. He said, but I like the idea of me versus you at Mania. And he said, actually, you know what? I hope you sit alone and you think about the fact that I've main evented 2 WrestleManias and you've main evented 0. So you know what? Never mind. I hope you don't win.
Yep.
Kevin Owens is like all over the place right now. Like, he's like, I hope you win. I hope you don't win. I'm so conflicted. Punk says Punk goes, you know what? You're right. I haven't main evented WrestleMania before, but you know what else I haven't done? I haven't lost 5 world title matches at the Royal Rumble.
And I just brought that up. I feel like KO does nothing but lose at the Rumble. So I'm glad he pulled out
Yeah.
that stat. I wasn't just making this
And
up.
Kevin Owens' face is like, oh, here we go.
Oh, he's irate.
And he goes, and I have never, ever lost to Logan Paul.
Yep.
Which KO did at Mania. And he said, and I've never manipulated my best friend to help me win a match because I didn't think I could. I do win my matches by myself. And you could tell that struck a nerve with Kevin. That whole little bunch right there. Punk tells KO to get his ass back in the ring so Punk can kick his ass right now, and KO backs down and leaves. I thought this was a great opening segment.
I thought it was fine. I didn't like it as much as the Cody segment, and I know you just hit on this. I didn't like that KO felt like he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. I think a strength of KO so far is he's been really honest, and even though he's the bad guy in a lot of these segments, he's not lying. But I thought it was just weird that he was talking out of both sides of his mouth here. It was fine, but I did not like it nearly as much as the Raw ending.
The Cody and Punk was...
Punk did save it with some of those daggers at the end.
Yeah, Punk and Cody were definitely a better, promo.
Yep.
But I liked how this added on to that. And I feel like the reason Kevin was talking out of the both sides of his mouth was because, they really hammered in on Raw that, Cody's losing it. And, and I feel like Kevin's trying to do that while also being like, well, he's already lost it. Like, Kevin Owens, the character's already lost it. So, I think he's just trying to add into the, we're both kind of exhausted and kind of over this feud, mentally, So.
After this, we head out back. Are you cool if I move on?
Yeah.
Cool. So we head out back, and The Miz, one of the newest superstars on SmackDown, is in Nick Aldis's office. And he says, you told me to make a bunch of friends. So I made friends with A-Town Down Under, and then you sent them to Raw. And then he talks about how he went to talk to Andrade, who just walked away. Mm-hmm. And so Miz starts to go on this rant about how people don't recognize greatness, even when it stares them right in the face. And he says he could have taught Andrade so much, and yada, yada. And then he says he would punch him in the face right now if he could to teach Andrade a lesson.
Right.
And then Nick Aldis kind of makes face, and Miz is like, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And he sure is. So Andrade's behind him. And then Miz says Andrade was just being stubborn. Andrade says he wants to. Andrade says, go ahead and teach me a lesson tonight when they go one-on-one.
Yep.
And Miz is kind of iffy about it. But then he also says anytime, anywhere. And so all this says it's a done deal. And so that match is scheduled for later in the night.
I love Miz. He was one of those people, especially when we were younger, that I just could not stand. But at this point, it's how do you not respect what he's done? You know what I'm saying?
He's entertaining.
He's entertaining and he works his ass off. I mean, this
Yep.
dude literally had to put himself on like multiple like, crappy TV shows, come in as an announcer just to get his foot in the door. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
went through
saying?
so many different platforms to
Right.
chase his dream, which is respectable.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
funny, he's still my mom's favorite. Anytime he's on the TV, I'll call my mom to let her know the Miz is on, and she's hooked. So
Oh man. So we got Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo. Uh
yeah,
so when Jimmy was doing his entrance, did you see Shinsuke behind him?
I did. I write. Jimmy Uso cuts a promo on the way to the ring with Shinsuke lurking in the background.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yep.
So Jimmy comes out. Mello comes out with a mic. He said, I wasn't even going to say anything, but since you wanted to talk, I'm going to talk. And,
Yeah.
he starts chirping. He says he's not going to miss because his name isn't Tyrese Halliburton. Shows Tyrese in the crowd. So here's the one thing I will say. I didn't watch
Yep.
it, but I saw clips from their, little Royal Rumble post show before SmackDown. I better not see a celebrity in this Royal Rumble. I want I have no interest in a celebrity in the Rumble. Because Triple H kind of hinted that, Halliburton could be in the Rumble. And I have
Yeah.
no interest in it.
I hope it's just a teaser because I feel like there's so many big names in it already. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
If you're going to put celebrities in it, make it a 40-man Rumble. Which I feel like they need to do
which
anyways.
which we found out, and we'll get to this later. There's been murmurs, but we got confirmation that doesn't happen this year. I don't know if you
Right.
caught that.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
what, that's 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I knew this year was 30. I think that came from Jordan Grace on.
That was their Jordan
Yeah.
Grace clip, and people
Yeah.
have just kind of been saying it. And I feel like people have been running with it,
And
but
Chris told her, he was like, no, they're 30. So I think they probably have talked about it, and she just got confused. Like, maybe next year they'll be 40s. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Because I was talking to somebody in our group chat, and boy, she better be happy that interview came out when it did. Did you watch any of it?
No.
So they filmed that the night before, or at the weekend of the TNA pay per view, which she
Okay.
was still under contract. And through that whole interview, she more or less admits she's going to WWE. Now, I mean, she only had a couple days left, but still,
Yeah.
the only thing she didn't say was I'm signing with WWE.
I wrote that name down.
Huh? Yeah. She literally was like, yeah, I love this TNA WWE crossover, so no matter what, I'm always going to be connected to TNA, which is, it's like, wait a minute, what? Stuff like that it was like, yeah, I'm going to WWE. So anyways, after that little tangent, Mello tries to headbutt Jimmy in the match. And Wade Barrett said, "Man, he doesn't know. You don't headbutt a Samoan because he ends up getting hurt more than Jimmy does.
That is rule number one of the wrestling industry.
Don't headbutt a
Headbutt a Samoan.
man. Nah. I said in aesthetics wise, I am loving these blue mats. I don't know why.
Yes.
I don't know what it's doing to me, but it made the matches feel popped more for some reason. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is.
I didn't notice it the first couple weeks, but I did notice it with this show.
Really stuck out this show. Yeah.
And I noticed the sponsors changed. It was Angry Orchard last night.
Yeah. And I think last week they had the WWE logo in the middle of the ring. Yeah.
Yep.
Mello goes over, starts talking shit to Tyrese. Dude, the mics were so loud in this match, and the mics kept catching them talking to each other. Did you see
it
that?
kept antagonizing him, which I enjoyed throughout the show.
Well, I feel like they caught them saying spots and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
times.
I must have had mine turned way down.
Yeah, you had because I mean my headphones were up louder than they normally are, but
Yep.
it was I didn't feel that way about any of the other matches, but this one, they were like spot talking very loud. So
Totally missed it.
really, wow.
I'm fighting the plague, so I wasn't as
Yeah,
I'm sorry I keep talking away over here. I had a hard time getting through this show. I feel like death right now.
yeah,
So
yeah. Not because the show was bad, just because he physically
no,
doesn't feel good. Right.
I'm just dying.
Yeah. Jimmy hits the power slam off the top rope.
And that was a nice move. It was like this toss into a superplex. I've never seen
That
that before. I
was.
thought that was super neat.
Yeah. I feel like Jimmy needs a lot more matches because I feel like Jay's really gotten into the groove of main event Jay Uso, where I
Yeah.
feel like Jimmy's still trying to figure out who Big Jim is. You know what I'm saying? In the ring.
Yep.
He has it down character wise, but I don't think he has it in the ring wise.
We'll get there though.
Yeah, Jimmy
He's
ends
missed so
up.
much time to injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy ends up getting the win with the roll up. And my question is, where the hell are they going with this? Because Mello is just losing everything,
Yep.
every week, every match.
Another SmackDown review. Another Carmelo loss.
Yeah, like so. This has to be story related. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know where.
And they finally hit on it. They're like, is Carmelo Hayes ever going to win again?
Right, like Jesus. We get the little Rumble by numbers video package, which I love these. These are so cool.
This is maybe my favorite package they do. Always, every year. And I wrote, this is always amazing. And I pulled a couple stats from it that I really enjoyed personally. 22 out of 36 Royal Rumble winners have successfully gone on to Mania to win a title. And then I think, I didn't write this down, but they talked about how many of those were first-time winners. I think it was like 16 or something. 2,561 days since the last time Cena was in a Rumble. It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just hit on this, but they did confirm it was 230 superstar matches. So
yeah.
I know there's been a lot of rumors about 31, 35, 40. So I'm glad that they got that out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was a cool little. I love those. They do them every year. Have you watched either one of the? You know how WWE puts out like wrestlers watching like shows from last year. Have you watched either one of those with the men and women watching the Rumbles?
I haven't. I've seen some clips, but I haven't seen them.
The men's one, which we'll hit on later also, but they have poor Damian Priest sitting with Truth. Oh my god. Because Priest is trying his damnedest to be serious, and Truth is just killing this guy the whole time.
Anything but serious.
Anything but serious. So we get an interview with Byron, asks Chelsea if she can handle Michin. After what Michin did to her last week, Chelsea says Michin tried to break the face of the United States, and she's going to win. Go ahead, I'll let you hit on the match.
Yeah, so she said she's going to destroy the face of the United States. I thought that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said I think she entered into the Rumble here too. She said she was going to win this match and then win the Rumble.
Yeah.
And I love this. She called Piper Niven her secret Hervis.
Yeah.
These little nuggets, man. She's so funny.
She's so funny. Yeah.
Let's see. So getting into this match, oh man, I feel like I've said this a few times now. I want to love Michin so much. A little clunky in this one, I felt like.
It was a little
and she caught her legs on that suicide dive, and oh my brother, I was afraid that was going to be so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little spot where Michin was up on the middle rope doing the 10 punch to the head spot, and Chelsea just dumped her. That looked great.
Yeah.
And Chelsea did that like arm trap curb stomp into the turnbuckle.
Oh yeah.
That's violent, man. That should be a finisher. That move is great.
Yeah, I like.
I like
when Chelsea's out of the ring and she's yelling at the crowd. She's like, "Pledge allegiance to me, you idiots!" So,
oh my god, that was so funny. I know last week we discussed this spot where Michin like twerks in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
it was a cannonball.
Yeah,
you were right.
Yeah, the long back attack.
Yep. And we did have a series of really good reversals. I thought the end of the match, things improved a lot. The pace picked up a
Yeah.
bit.
Yep.
Um, and Michin finally hits the E2 feet.
Yep.
Chelsea rolls out.
Yep.
Smart heel veteran move.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of tries to go over to Piper for safety. B-Fab drops Piper with the big boot.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea rolls back in and then immediately rolls out a different side.
Yep.
She tries to run into the crowd. Michin grabs her, tosses her back in. She rolls out again.
Yep.
And Michin had come out with a kendo stick. And Chelsea grabs it, just wails on her to force the DQ. And still your U.S. Women's champ.
You know, again, I'm always gonna say things I don't like, and the one of the biggest things I'm having an issue with WWE right now is setting things up and then not
Yep.
following through. And I felt like last week, like Piper was like, "Oh, we're gonna need like extra Piper said something that made it feel like they were gonna add like somebody new to this group, and then this
Yep.
match just ends with like Chelsea grabbing kendo stick, hitting her, running off, and like I don't know, I felt like it was like, okay, what was the point of saying that last week if there's no follow through? You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
it'll be at the Rumble or something.
Maybe, but like I feel like when you know you're having this match, you can't say something like that unless you already have something planned. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't a big fan of that, but the match itself was good. Yeah, it was a little clunky in the beginning, but they got good. I mean, B-Fab got that hell of a big boot.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it was a good match. My only issue was what they said last week, and then how the match ended, and also
Didn't
like
follow up on it.
right, and just like okay, I mean I know Chelsea cheated, but what you're gonna have another match between these two? They've already had like four, you know, like
Yeah, and I think they
what are
had
we
said
doing?
this was going to be the last
Exactly
one.
right.
So
So I don't
we'll
know.
see.
It feels a little like underwhelming, you know.
Yep.
So we get Naomi Bianca interview. Byron asks what happens
Hooray.
if Byron asks what happens if they're the final two. Bianca says it doesn't matter because one of them's gonna win. Byron says Raquel and Liv have their eyes on the tag titles. Bianca and Naomi said they can try to take it from them, but it ain't gonna happen.
They've already done this promo. Like, how many times do we need to talk about, no, you're going to win. No, you're going to win. No, you're going to win. I hope they both lose first. I hope they take each other out. Like, come on.
They
I am so sick of these
they
two.
might start the Rumble.
Oh, man. Great. So we get to watch them for an hour. Can't fucking wait.
Listen,
My God.
me and him don't feel the
You
same
know,
way. I like both of them. All right.
I mean, they're fine, but it's so phony to be like, you know what? I hope you win if I don't win. Like, come on,
Well,
man. Like,
that's the point. Is they both are
oh,
like I'm gonna win, but they're being fake friends in front of each other.
I
You
hate
know,
it.
I don't hate it. You know, that's fine. You know, what the hater gonna hate. You know,
Haters gonna hate.
haters gonna
Hey, how
hate.
about this though? I think we were commercial free up until after this. The first almost hour was commercial free. I didn't see
Was it?
that. I,
No,
I
no, no,
usually
no,
write
no.
down
There
commercial
was
break.
commercials in the last match. There was some picture to
Was
picture.
there?
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So we get another Charlotte promo again. Talking about haters gonna hate. I'm not a Charlotte person, but these video packages have been really good.
Yep.
So, and I'm gonna hate that she wins the Rumble. Uh,
She said people call her greedy, and why wouldn't she be? And I feel like the promos are definitely setting her up to be a heel when she comes back.
yeah, which is weird because Tiffany's a heel, but whatever. We'll see. Even though the fans don't want Tiffany to be a heel, very clearly.
No.
No. So Damian Priest comes out to the ring. Priest says he's on SmackDown for championships. He said he dealt with all the drama and bullshit on Raw, so now he's on SmackDown for championships. And it starts by winning the Royal Rumble. And out comes my boy, Jacob Fatu and
I
Tama
don't know who I
Tonga.
expected to interrupt him, but it wasn't Fatu.
Nah, no.
But I liked it a
God,
lot.
Jacob's promos are so good.
So good. I like this segment a ton.
It was so good. And what people don't understand, because like I think it really is proven that WWE fans are just WWE fans, but Tamatonga can cut a hell of a promo too. I've seen some
Yeah.
of his Bullet Club promos, and so Jacob says he knows who Priest is. He knows what he's done. He said Priest accomplished a lot more than a lot of the suckers in the back.
Yeah.
he says they're a lot alike because they both came from the streets. They both pulled themselves out of the mud. But the difference is Jacob was locked in the box. Which, again, Jacob's promos are just so damn good because they feel real, you know?
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's off the leash now. He's all gas,
That's
no
right.
break.
Yeah, he says if Priest thinks he's coming to SmackDown to make an impact, he's wrong because he's unleashed. And he told Priest to lay down or else they're going to put him down. He said that him and Tamatonga are running things now, which really feels like we ain't listening to Solo's little bitch ass anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's going to be interesting when Solo comes back.
Yep.
Priest calls him a bendejo and then kicks Tamatonga in the face. Fatu and Priest start fighting. We get a bunch of holy shit chants. Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu jump him until LA Knight comes out. Yeah. Kicks Tamatonga in the chair into Tama's face.
Big boot to the chair.
Big
Love
boot.
that.
Big boot. Fatu punches the chair out of LA Knight's hands. And then, dude, he looks so strong right now. And then Priest kicks him in the head. He rolls out of the ring. LA Knight challenges them to a tag match later in the night. And what a great segment. What a great segment for Jacob. What a great segment for Priest. Even LA Knight and Tonga felt like they came out a little better after that. That was just a good segment all the way around.
I liked that segment a lot.
Yeah, me too.
After that, we head out back. We got the Motor City Machine Guns who approach Legado del Fantasma. And they make it clear, look, we don't like you guys don't like us. But they got a big match, and they just talk about how they need to work together, and they're ready to win. The Garzas kind of just blow it off, and they say that if the Motor City Machine Guns win at the Rumble, they're coming for them. But they didn't really seem very interested in working with the Motor City Machine Guns.
Electra literally was like, "Yeah, ignore them."
Yeah, and they pretty much did. So we get this 8-man tag match. We get Pretty Deadly in DIY versus the Garzas and the Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed this. Why was it all smoky? Did you notice that during the match?
I think that was from the Machine Guns entrance because they had
their entrance. It lingered big time, and I was like, "Oh, brother!" I was waiting for the Undertaker to turn it into a 3-on-3.
Yep.
A lot of tags in this match, a lot of back and forth, a lot of chaos in this one.
Yep.
I saw they finally named that tag move.
I know. Did you catch that?
I did. I'm like,
I'm sorry. That
we're speaking something to existence.
I'm sorry. That move's called the facial.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there might be some better names.
I didn't know.
I didn't picture myself in my mid-30s watching dudes get facials on Friday night with you, but here we are, Tyler. Here we are.
I don't care. We're children, but I heard that and I literally just stopped and stared at the. I was like, was it always called that?
Yeah. We'll see if they change that.
Nah, I hope they don't.
I unfortunately, oh God. I had a lot of distractions during this match, so I didn't write a ton of notes.
Okay.
I think the one note I do have is there was a ton of tags, it was obvious the teams didn't all want to work together.
Right.
Which I think worked well. It was fitting for these teams. And, I liked the ending. I liked the dissension between the two teams that lost this match.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the match was good. I feel like the story was Motor City Machine Guns and Garza's really weren't on the same page, and
Right.
like DIY and Pretty Deadly were kind of, but not really. Motor
Yeah.
City Machine Guns and Garza's kept tagging themselves in.
Yeah, a lot of the blind tags in.
Yeah, I said Angel's pant rip is still over. Angel ripping his pants off is still over
It's
for
awesome.
sure. Oh,
Yeah.
it's great. Gargano hits a sneak tag, lets all Pretty Deadly and Ciampa do their shit before he gets in the ring. Hits that flying spear through the ropes, which I love that move. And then suicide dive. We get an "This is awesome" chant. Berto pushes Sabin. So Sabin tags himself in. Berto shoves him. And then they just leave. And Motor City Machine Guns is like, oh crap. Or Sabin is, because Shelley is out. So Sabin's getting beat up. He ends up getting a baseball slide. Takes out both. Pretty Deadly. Takes out Gargano with what was a spinning DDT and then like a kick to the face of Johnny.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting a roll-up win on Ciampa. Ciampa gets pissed, kicks Prince in the face, and they all start arguing. Ciampa kicks Prince in the face, then Sabin gets the roll-up.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kicked him in the face, then went for the tag, but Kit Wilson bailed off the apron because Champ hit his boy.
Right.
And I think that was a nice way to kind of further their lack of trust and faith in each other.
There's a lot of roll-up tags tonight. Or roll-up wins.
I fucking noticed that. Everything was a roll-up, and I feel like that's been a common theme for the last couple weeks.
But it didn't bother me because they were all like very different pins. It wasn't just like a regular roll-up pin. You know what I'm saying?
I have noticed it, though.
They were all very creative. But yeah, there's a lot of roll-up pins. So after the match, Pat introduces Tyrese Halliburton. Pat says the Pacers are going to win the championship. You're right. Because of Tyrese. He says they're the best team in the league right now. Pat pulls out the Patastrator, which is literally the best part of Raw every single week. Oh, man. That Patastrator is so good. He shows Michael Cole and Cody Rhodes crowd surfing, just talking shit to Michael Cole the whole time about being like 60 years old and trying to crowd surf with white pants.
Yeah.
And then we have what a video package for Cody and KO. Holy shit.
It was fantastic.
Wow.
There was one little part that got skipped over here.
Go ahead.
Did you see Tama Tonga walk by the tag belts and take a really long...
That was after, I think, wasn't
it? Do I watch this show out of order?
Because I have that somewhere.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was before Halliburton.
It might have been. Maybe it was. Maybe I don't know. I thought I wrote it. But yeah, Tama Tonga walks past those tags.
It took a long look.
Yep.
And then Ciampa snatched him up and he just went, yeah. And then Pretty Deadly got all up in DIY's face, and Ciampa blames them for the loss, and Pretty Deadly stands up for themselves finally, which I like, and says, you know what? You're on your own tomorrow. Which I liked.
They said, we done. We outie. It ain't happening. So then we got Naomi versus Liv Morgan. They said, Liv was the runner-up in the last two Royal Rumbles. I didn't realize that.
That is true. Yeah, I dropped that in our prediction show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, man.
Apparently, I wasn't listening
Straight
to you.
Facts, homie.
Because I was like, wow. And what was the other one? They said something else that I didn't write down about Liv in the Rumble. Did they say she's one of only two women that's been in every one?
She's been in every single one,
Yeah,
yes.
I think they said she was only one of like two women, which is nuts because there hasn't been that many. There's only been two girls to be in every Rumble. Like,
I didn't catch how many. I did hear heard them say one of.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who the others would be. Off the top of my head, I can't.
If there's only one other one, it has to be like Natalia, right? You would think.
Yeah, I was gonna say her, or Asuka, or Bianca, but
Bianca was in NXT for the first one.
For one of them too, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that Liv finally had some Judgment Day themed gear. That was the
Yeah.
first thing I wrote down.
Yep.
Took long enough, but
So I like that Naomi got Liv in the move where she's like rubbing her ass in her face, and Liv gets out and crawls over to the ref and starts wiping
wipes her.
her, wipes her
That
face
was my
with his
next note.
shirt.
I laughed
Yeah,
so hard.
I was dying. I was like, "That's great." The match was good. I don't have a lot of notes, but Raquel gets on the apron, distracts Naomi, and then she does it a second time, and Bianca comes down, takes her out. Naomi gets the win after Bianca takes out Raquel, and then Liv and Raquel take the champs out after the match. Like I said, I didn't take a lot of notes because I feel like there wasn't anything that was like extremely noteworthy, but the match was good. I mean, they both put on good matches. So
I like that projectile power bomb that Liv and Raquel are hitting. Looks like that's
yes,
going to be like the new thing.
yeah, where Raquel
So they
power
got
bombs Liv onto them. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So Raquel came in and hit that double clothesline and then the projectile power bomb. Pretty
yeah,
neat.
yeah. That was good.
We got another recap after this. They recapped Jacob Fatu versus Strowman at Saturday night's main event. And then the Miz's music hits, and we get Miz versus Andrade. And I wrote down,
I am
I
the
don't,
Miz.
I am awful. I don't remember the Miz's last match.
Singles match?
Yeah.
Lum-
I feel like he hasn't been on TV
Loomis.
in a minute.
Did him and
I
Loomis
feel like that
wrestle
was.
on Raw a couple months ago?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's been
Yeah,
forever.
yeah, it has been a little. Well, so it came out today that supposedly the reason Wyatt Six hasn't been on TV is somebody's hurt. So,
Oh,
so they've been doing a lot of like Miz and Cross stuff
yep.
that isn't matches. I think his actual last match was like that 8-man tag. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think somebody, and I didn't see who, but somebody in the Wyatt Six is injured, so they're just keeping them off TV until they're ready to fully come back. So,
That's fair.
yeah.
I thought this one was fine, man. Andrade lays the smackdown with some of those chops. My lord, those chops are violent. Andrade is so fast. He's such a great striker. And I think this match was fun because it was two totally different styles, which I think sometimes makes for a great fight.
Right.
And this was another match. I know I said this about Michin and Chelsea, but there was a great series of reversals towards the end of this match.
Yeah.
And Andrade went back to the well a second time for that spinning back elbow. And man, did he nail it. And Andrade gets the dub here,
Dude,
I like.
Those sound so damn vicious.
Yep.
Ugh. He hit that top rope Spanish fly, and then they got another "This is awesome" chant.
Yeah.
Miz can go. If he's wrestling somebody that can go, Miz can go.
Yep.
And yeah, that spinning elbow just sounds like it every time. You're like, Jesus, how does he make it sound like that? So yeah, no, it was a good match. So backstage, Priest is back there. Santos tries to recruit Priest into Legado, and essentially Priest tells him to fuck off. Like he's like, yeah, no, absolutely not. So
I don't even know why you're talking to me right now.
right. He's like, what are you doing? So Santos gets all mad. He storms off. Priest takes a couple steps and just gets this giant smile on his face. Camera pans over and there's R-Truth.
Yes,
I hope he.
Welcome to Raw, buddy.
I know. He said, "Man, I hate to tell you, but you can't keep going back and forth through this portal. This is a." He said, "I just talked to Adam Pierce. He has hair now,
And a British accent.
and an accent."
Dude, R-Truth is so funny.
Love Truth. I hope that means they moved him to SmackDown because him and Priest are they're too good together.
Unbelievable.
They're so good.
Yep.
Like this is one of those things that if they don't have anything for Priest at Rumble, have him and Truth win those tag titles, kind of like they did with Truth and Miz last year. Like, people would lose their minds, Priest. So LA Knight comes out. or comes over, asks Priest if he's ready for tonight. Priest says he's ready, but reminds him that at the Rumble they're not friends. And Shinsuke was in the background of here too.
I saw that. Just a lot of
Ah.
lurking today by
I
Shinsuke.
wonder if that means they're going to do a multi-man match for the U.S. title at Mania. You know,
Yeah,
like
so it was Jim and Carmelo, and now these two.
plus Shinsuke. Then you could
Right.
throw in like somebody like Andrade or Miz
Yep.
and do like a ladder match. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because let's face it, any of those ladder matches for these mid card titles at Mania have been awesome. When Daniel Bryan won, when
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder won, yeah,
Yes,
like
sir.
they were really really good matches. So,
I'm a sucker for multi-man ladder matches, so
oh, they're
no
absolute
argument for me at all.
right. So Zelina shows up, or Tiffany's walking to the ring. Zelina shows up, tells her now that she's on SmackDown, she got her eyes on championships. And Tiffany pretty much says, "Yeah, good luck with that, shorty."
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Might as well just pat her on the head.
right. That's cute.
Yeah. There's a nice little graphic here that I saw when they came back from this commercial break. Did you see the John Cena graphic?
Yeah, that was cool. I
The
like that.
chase for 17.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to Ric Flair, he says that Cena doesn't care about the record, which, like, in my head, I keep not thinking a lot. I think this is part of why I'm not on the whole Cena's going to win the Rumble thing,
Mm-hmm.
because Ric Flair keeps saying Cena doesn't care about the record. But
Cena.
I don't know if you would make a graphic if it wasn't going to happen. So I feel like,
So I think in real life, Cena doesn't care about the Rumble or about the belt, but I think WWE cares about Cena having the belt. So on
yeah, I think
store,
they'd rather it's his name than Flair's.
yeah. So I think storyline wise, Cena's gonna try to get that belt because, I mean, why else would you be doing it if you're not going for a championship? But I do think in real life, Cena doesn't give a shit if he wins that or not. But WWE definitely does. So
Touche.
yep.
Uh, After that, we get Pat and Cole back in the ring, and they
Hey.
introduce the champion, Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Cole asked how Tiffany's life has changed since she cashed in the Money in the Bank. Tiffany says she's always been championship material. The only difference is now everybody knows it. McAfee goes on to list some possible challengers if they win the Rumble. Tiffany says it doesn't matter who wins because it's always Tiffy time. And then Candice LeRae's music hits, which was neat because Pat, listed off a few names, and Candice was one of them. So Candice comes out, says Tiffany's pathetic. She doesn't deserve to even say Nia Jackson's name.
Mm-hmm.
It says that Tiffany betrayed, not just Nia, she betrayed Candice too. She pissed a lot of people off, and that includes her.
Right.
And she's just jealous because Nia preferred Tiffany as a tag partner.
Candace as the tag partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. She gets into the ring and she tells Tiffany to enjoy what little Tiffy time is left in her reign.
Mm-hmm.
Candice announces she's going to be in the Rumble,
Yep.
and she's going to make Tiffany regret ever stabbing them in the back,
Yep.
and calls her jealous. And Tiffany's like, "Me? You think I'm jealous?
Wow, I'm the champ.
I'm the champ,
Right.
and all you're ever going to be is her little sidekick." And again, it was kind of one of those like,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I like this. Nia storms in, tries to blindside Tiffy, but she slide steps out of the way, takes out Candice.
Yeah.
But then she does get the offense in on Tiffany. She hits that pop up headbutt and drops the Annihilator on the champ.
Stands tall at the end. I like this little segment. Anytime they get Candace on TV, I'm into it. She's great. She's great on the mic. She's great in the matches. I think
She's a really good wrestler.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that they released Indy because they were so great together. And
I always really liked Indy Hartwell.
me too. And Nia could have had like this tag team defending her rather than just Candace. You know what I'm saying?
It was like 5 foot nothing on a good day.
Right. So
they're just kind of an odd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean the pairing's fine. But like I said, anything to get Candace on TV, I'm happy about. But like,
she deserves it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's just a bummer that they released Indy because I actually didn't like Indy for a long time. I was like, I don't get it until the stuff with her and Loomis, and then that just completely changed everything. So But then we got the main event. We got Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga versus LA Knight and Damian Priest. I wonder what they're going to start calling themselves once Tungaloa comes back. If Hikuleo ends up joining them,
Yeah.
I would go with the Samoan SWAT team or something like that. Who was it?
Run it back.
Something like that. Hell yeah, why not? So Priest and
Maybe Heyman can manage them.
yeah, yeah. Or hey, if they actually do end up bringing Zilla in, he's managed by
Armando
Estrada.
Estrada.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I get a shout out for him. What was that, 2 shows ago?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Uh, I said, man, all 4 of these guys can be superstars. They're all so great. This match was awesome. Priest slams Fatu on the announce table and then bounces him off the turnbuckle. Priest does old school.
I saw that and I loved that.
That was cool.
Old school into the crossbody.
Yeah, and it works with him.
There were some violent moves in this match, man. Fatu blindsided LA Knight, and I thought he knocked him silly.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Man, and then Priest hit that pounce on Tonga onto the table, and you just watch Tonga slide across the top of that table.
I love how sturdy these announce tables are.
Every week I feel like we say that, but it's awesome. And these guys just went at it.
It's going to be nuts when somebody finally goes through one of those. Like people are going to freak out. Priest tries to go for the Razor's Edge. Tonga turns it into a chokehold, starts choking him out. Tonga ends up hitting that jumping DDT, but LA Knight hit the jumping spinning DDT, but LA Knight breaks up the pin. They need to get a name for that because jumping spinning DDT does not work for a finisher.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Nah, it doesn't. Knight runs Fatu through the barricade and trips. Did you see him trip when he started running?
He looked like a cartoon.
I said, "Oh man, we about to get a what's his name at the Greatest Royal Rumble?"
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil sliding under the ring. Oh man, we get another "This Is Awesome" chant. Priest hits the South of Heaven on Tonga to get the win, and then Fatu comes in, hits the super kick, hits the Samoan drop, finishes it with the moonsault, and Smackdown goes off with Jacob Fatu standing tall in the ring.
And the crowd chanting one more time.
Oh, man. Jacob. There was reports, which I thought was ridiculous and probably were ridiculous, of they don't want Jacob to outshine Solo. But,
too late.
Too late. Yeah, too late. And here's the thing. I like Solo, but, Jacob's just on another level. I'm going to speak for myself, but I feel like as probably 2 people who's never watched a MLW match to save their damn life, for us to know Jacob the way that we did before he came in just shows how
much of a big deal he was.
Right, and how ready he is,
Yep.
So that was it. Like I said, SmackDown was pretty good. It was we didn't get in Cody, which was fine. And we didn't get some of the other top people, but it set stuff up and wasn't boring. Some of these go home shows, you're like, what the hell was the point of watching that? It was just video package, but this actually had substance. So It was a good show. It was a good show overall.
Solid go home. I'm excited for the Rumble, man. I cannot wait.
I can't wait either. Yeah. There's a couple of matches that if we were doing the predictions after SmackDown, I probably would change. But obviously we had to get those out because once the Rumble happens, nobody's gonna be watching those damn prediction shows. Frankly, probably need to do it the weekend before, and whatever happens on the Go Home Raw and SmackDown, oh well. But yeah, so there's a couple things I might put in our group predictions that'll be a little different. But that is it. We will see everybody on Sunday for the Royal Rumble reactions. And everybody enjoy themselves tonight. It's going to be a hell of a show, man. Court.
Enjoy the Rumble.
Peace.
See you.